We'll be seeing lots of clouds overnight tonight. Low temperature, 25 degrees. No snow in the forecast other than maybe just a flurry or two, Alexa.
But it is cold enough that the snow that is on the ground is probably going to stick around a while.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have complete weather details straight ahead here on WVTT.
Now, WVTT. News update.
Israel's defense minister has resigned to spend more time with his family. CNN's Fred Pleitgen reports.
Ehud Barak is not an uncontroversial figure in Israeli politics, and the faction that he leads in Israel's parliament, the Knesset, was recently losing ground. However, Barak was recently bolstered, and his popularity went up after Israel's military campaign in Gaza, which of course he led and he oversaw as well. It was widely believed before his announcement that possibly he was trying to reposition himself in Israeli politics with elections coming up on January 22nd, where possibly he would be trying to win votes with a new political faction. However, Barak says that he is resigning because he wants to spend more time with his family and also because he wants to make new room for new political figures as well.
I feel it is important that other people should take leading positions in Israel. Changes in the positions of power is a good thing. There are many ways to contribute to society and the country, and not necessarily through politics.
Barak says his resignation will not be effective immediately, but that he will finish his term as defense minister and wait until a new cabinet is formed after the vote on January 22nd. It's widely believed that the parliamentary elections will be won in a landslide by Benjamin Netanyahu's Likud party. Fred Pleitgen, CNN, Jerusalem.
Congress is back in session and under pressure to reach a deal and avoid the so-called fiscal cliff. That's the set of unpleasant spending cuts and tax increases set to kick in on January 1st. The negotiations between the Republicans and Democrats are not expected to be smooth. KLA went in search for outside the Beltway advice for Beltway insiders.
We cannot afford to extend the Bush tax cuts for the wealthy.
700,000 jobs would be destroyed.
Two sides ground into their positions, but they can meet in the middle. Just ask tough negotiators outside the Beltway.
I'm the negotiator who knows how to deal with bad guys.
He's not talking about politicians, but crooks, literally. Tremarco was the FBI's negotiator in multiple high-profile bank hostage standoffs. He says he peacefully freed dozens of hostages over his 20 years with the agency. He negotiated seemingly impossible deals and says he never lost a life.
You have to plan for everything going wrong as a negotiator.
Yeah, you've got to be ready for it and to deal with it. And you've got to be flexible.
But not too flexible. Amanda, please, straight in front. Amanda. The lawyer for Hollywood heavyweights like Harvey Weinstein, James Cameron, and Tom Cruise knows about ugly divorces, public fights with studios, and yes, fair deals.
At what point is it better to have no deal than the deal that's being offered?
Do you have an appreciation for what Obama and Boehner are looking at?
Oh, absolutely. I sympathize with both of them. It's not fun for these guys because there's too much at stake. It's fun for me because the worst that happens is my client gets less money, not the end of the world. Although it may seem so to the client.
Maybe you can't please everyone, but even children know you have to cooperate.
Maybe you can work together, build together. Maybe you can connect it. What do you think? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
A daily lesson on the playground. Working together sprouts even better solutions.
I have a great idea. Do you want to see my great idea?
Do you think that these lessons on the playground really need to be transferred to D.C.?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We need to find a way to work together to figure out what's going to be acceptable to everybody. We've got to figure it out. Otherwise, I mean, we all lose.
There's nothing surprising here, because maybe it's just that simple. So if they can do it...
How old are you guys? Five.
Maybe the political playground can do it, too. Kyung La, CNN, Los Angeles.
The holiday season is just getting underway, and with it comes opportunities for fraud. And we have A fraud case to tell you about tonight. Toronto police have recovered a large stash of toys they say disappeared from a Salvation Army warehouse, and they're doing everything possible to find out who's responsible. Christina Muchler reports.
The Salvation Army, preparing to kick off its annual Christmas Kettle campaign for needy families, has discovered that some of the donations went elsewhere. 100,000 toys and boxloads of food worth an estimated $2 million were taken from a Salvation Army warehouse in Toronto. Police recovered many of the stolen items last Friday at a storage facility near Brampton, Ontario, enough loot to fill up 3 tractor trailers.
Officers did locate toys, personal products as well, items that were donated to the Salvation Army.
The Salvation Army suspects the alleged thefts were an inside job, with the goods being moved gradually over a 2-year time frame.
We're dedicated to the investigation. We're doing everything possible to identify who's responsible.
The investigation began last August based on a tip from a whistleblower. Soon afterwards, the Salvation Army fired the executive director of its Toronto warehouse. Canadians are infuriated over the thefts, but their generosity is in tune with the season. Donations to the Salvation Army are pouring in. I'm Christina Muchler, reporting.
Taking a look at WVTT Business, a rally by tech stocks spurred on by Apple gaining 3% today. That lifted the NASDAQ higher, but not enough to alleviate concerns about the looming fiscal cliff. The Dow closed down 42 points to close at 12,967. As I mentioned, NASDAQ was up just about 10 points to close at 2976, and the S&P 500 down 3 to close at 1406. Coming up on the 6 o'clock report, WVTT Sports and also the WVTT Severe Weather Action Team forecast. Stick around. This is News Channel 25 WVTT.